Hey, welcome back. Gary Brown Forging On. We're forging into some different territory today. Just giving you a little, I'm on my own property, driving along a fence row in my truck here, looking to go hunting. And what I'm hunting is ants. Used to not have them several years ago, and then last so many years, I don't know how long, we've gotten covered up by them. And so found this stuff here, and I've used up almost a whole can, mainly in the yard. But I've had it for a few years now, and they say I'll kill a big ant hill in like 4 hours. But I went out there like 4 hours later, and they were still there. And but I went back. It seemed like it was a few hours after that, and then it was gone. I guess it killed them because they didn't build another pile anywhere. So it worked really well, and it takes very little of it. I mean, I barely dust it. So I've come up on another one here, and I'm gonna get out and dust it and show you about it, and be right back. Okay, so wear your gloves, and that's a big old red ant hill. And the reason I'm killing them everywhere is because I'm trying to keep them under control. And it's nothing worse than walking out at night with a dog, or walking up from my shop to the house in the night and stepping in a big pile of this stuff. This stuff only takes like a teaspoon, and I don't measure it, I just give it a light dusting. And I try to be, see it's blowing that way, so I try to stay upwind of it. I wear a mask, but I'm not wearing a mask because I want to talk. That's even more than I usually give, but this is a big hill. That's why you don't want to leave them. Nasty little dudes. Getting tired. One thing I forgot to mention, I wanted to show you, was the difference kind of between an ant hills and mole lines. We got both. We got the moles and ant hills both out in our hayfield and along our fence rows. And but I just want to keep them out of the house. So so I'll show you that here in a second. But I'll show you the difference between a molehill. If you can kind of tell, it's hard to tell in video, but you know, you kind of step on them, you'll see it's more like a dirt line instead of a dirt mound. And if you step on them, it's all mushy and no ants come up, and that's just the mole, where the mole's traveling underneath. One thing I found with this Dursband stuff that I used to use, Dursband, I'm not Dursband, Diazinon, Dursband, but they replaced Diazinon with Dursband. Dursband was worse, killed all kind of things it shouldn't have. But Diazinon, I used to use that, and they banned it too, so now I'm using whatever Ortho Max granulated stuff that they come out with. I don't even know what's in it anymore. I can't keep up with it. But the Ortho stuff that I get at like Lowe's or Home Depot in the bags, I put it down for the ticks and chiggers, and because we're right next to hayfields and so in the woods, and so we're not in the subdivision. But I told a guy about this that lived in a subdivision, and he tried it and it worked for him. So I put it down, get rid of the ticks and the chiggers. And before you say anything about, oh, you're also killing, you know, you know, all the worms and the grubs and all that, that's wrong. It doesn't kill them, so stop it. Don't even go there. Because I use this every year, and I can go down. I just put it down probably 2 or 3 weeks ago at our house, and coated it all up near the house. And then we were digging some flowers, planting some flowers, and we were just digging up piles and piles of worms. So it doesn't hurt the worms. The grubs are still there. Everything's still there. And it doesn't kill the moles. I think it just puts a sour taste in their mouth or something. I don't know what it does, but you can actually see the moles coming into your yard, and then the tunnel will turn and go back out into the field. So like I said, I told a guy I worked with this years and years, probably over 20 years ago, I told a guy about it. He went and bought it, put it in his subdivision yard because his yard was just covered in moles. And he said it worked, all the moles left. And he said the same thing with him. He said he could see where it was coming in the neighbor, under the neighbor's fences, and then it's turning and going back into the neighbor. So they just stayed out of his yard. And it doesn't kill them. Not that I would mind, killing moles, but it doesn't kill them. And it doesn't hurt the grubs or the worms, because I guarantee I can go dig up after I put the stuff down and find, a week after I put it down, the stuff good for months. And I'll put it down for weeks or 2 weeks or something, and I still dig up tons of worms and grubs and everything, not even a bit bothered by it. So anyway, that's all I wanted to kind of run past you. Let's take a look at some of the mole hills here, and then we'll get back to hunting ants. Now these are mole hills. You can tell because it's traveling, and the ground is kind of soft under them. So that's not an ant hill. Ants may take it over, but it's not one now. So anyways, that's how I do it. I'm going to continue on driving to how many I can find. I know there's a few more down through here that I want to wipe out. And one more thing, I live here in Tennessee, and I don't know where you're from, but basically I put granulated poison down on my yard, and that's mainly to keep the ticks and chiggers away. They're horrible here. As soon as it gets above about, 60 degrees or something, I don't know what temperature Fahrenheit, they will cover you up and eat you up. And I went for several years where I'd come in and pick 20, 30 ticks off me, or my wife would have to pick them off if I couldn't reach them, and the back and stuff, and then you just itching and itching and itching. And now it seems like you get more and more diseases than you used to. Now we're getting Lyme disease in Tennessee, even though they say it's, you got to be in Connecticut. Now it's everywhere now. And so anyway, they had, but the chiggers are just as bad. They bite you and they put some kind of enzyme in you. Everybody used to think they lived under your skin, and they'd put fingernail polish to try to keep you from itching it. But really, they bite you, put an enzyme in you, and you could wash them off, and the damage is done, and you're going to itch for a long time. And this old farmer, this has been close to 30 years ago, 25 years ago or more. I was talking to him, and I asked him how he dealt with the ticks, and he said, he just sprays himself down before he goes out. I started doing that, and I didn't get bit ever again, unless I forgot to do it. Then I got eat up. But some people say it didn't work for them, but it sure works for me. I just go to Walmart or someplace, and I just get some kind of deep woods off. Usually try to get something with the highest DEET level, 30, 40%. And then if I'm walking in, grass that's like this, that's a little over ankle deep, you'll get them here. You'll get them around posts. So you can see piles of ticks crawling up posts so they could jump on things. But I spray just higher than the area I'm going in. So if I'm going in ankle high, I spray up to my knees. If I'm going in knee high, I spray up to my waist. If I'm going in waist high, then I just coat myself. But I lift up my pant legs, I spray around my shoes and socks, and then I drop my pant legs and I spray my pant legs top, front, and back, and then up higher as I need to go. And anybody in Tennessee will tell you, if you get around small cedar trees in the summertime, you're going to get eat up with ticks. And I cut almost, between me and my in-laws, we cut like 5 acres of small cedars on my property, trying to clear it off. One summer, I was over here every evening and all day on Saturdays, and just chainsawing, piling, and burning, chainsaw, piling, and burning, right in the thick of it. I was covered over. Before, every time I got out of the truck, I keep this in the door of my truck, and I keep one at the door walking into the garage. I keep one down in my shop. So as soon as I'm walking out, I'm spraying. Now, if I'm going in the yard, since I put poison down, that kills them there. But if I'm gonna step foot out of my yard, I spray myself. Because if I don't, I'll have at least chiggers, and they're nasty enough. And so it's a good little tip if you're in tick and chigger area, and or if you're going to go out in the woods, or let's go have some fun. Like me, I grew up in subdivision. Hey, it's going to be neat. Let's go up in the woods and play. And then you come out and you're pulling off 50 ticks, and you don't mess around. People around here, farmers, they don't mess around with, oh, you take a match and you get near it and it backs out. No, you just grab and pull them out. The best tip I found on YouTube and on Facebook was, and it works really well, is I put a little soft soap on a piece of tissue or on a cotton ball, and if the tick is there, you just keep rubbing in a circle. And because the main thing you don't want to do is if you pull them out is leave the head in there. But if you start rubbing in a circle, sometimes it's that fast, and sometimes you have to do it for a minute, then you pull it away and the tick is stuck to it and it's live and the head's still on it and everything. Works great, just lightly. You don't have to rub hard, just lightly rub it in a circle for up to a minute, but usually it's done in like 10 seconds. And that works really well. If you've never heard of seed ticks, which I never did till I moved up here, I don't know if they're baby ticks or a different form of ticks, but I've seen them. I've actually gotten them on my pant leg and seen a brown dot about that big. And I looked down, all of a sudden the dot started spreading. And they're the size of a tip of a pin. And they are just as bad as a full-grown tick or full-size tick as far as their poison and itching and everything else. But you'll have 150 to 200 of them on you at once, buried in you. And they'll be between your toes, they'll be up in your straps of your underwear, they'll be all over you. And they're so small you have to use tweezers and to sit there for hours just picking them off. And my wife would just take an alcohol bottle and pour the lid full, and she'd just drop them in that and kind of take the tip of the tweezers and put them in there so they come off. And you'll see them in straight alcohol swimming around for a while, then they'll slowly stop swimming, and then they'll finally stop. It's nasty stuff. But that's seed ticks. So anyway, those are my tips. Put some poison down, get rid of the ant hills, and spray yourself before you get out in the ticks and chiggers. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm going to go kill some more ants. Bye-bye now.